Nice. Looks like you got it. Let's see.
All right, so I started it through YouTube, so hopefully it's recording.
Yeah, this looks different. This looks good. I'm trying to see.
There wasn't a record button, but I started it through Google Hangouts.
Hello?
Hello?
Hey.
What's up?
Yeah, it's working. I'm on. You can look at the video.
Sweet.
It's really weird looking at the video and then hearing the live stream. It kind of has a delay.
You have to have both open at once?
No, we were just making sure it was recording, so now we just need to get everybody else back on.
Awesome.
And I'm probably gonna switch to my phone so I can get video, because my web camera on my laptop doesn't seem to work.
Slightly better. Oh, man, I just moved like 500 pounds of dirt with a shovel. I'm so tired.
I know.
I'm dead right now.
That sucks. Yeah, this one looks like it's a shorter meeting, so hopefully now that we got it going, we can get it done.
I'm gonna be honest. I literally stopped doing that just to get on, so I have no idea what we're doing right now.
Yeah, but we'll get through it, hopefully.
I mean, it was like all the whatever the sign up was. I remember like all the hours like didn't work for me. I was just like, oh boy. Guess I'll just pick one.
Group projects are the worst sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, they can be nice, but at the same time, they can be the worst.
It's hard to get on the same time frame with everyone.
Do you have a link of like the stuff I need to be prepared for or something? Because I don't even know what we're doing.
Let's see. Yeah, there's a article we're supposed to read, and then we're just going to discuss.
I'll be honest. I don't even know what class this is for.
The B321.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
That's really weird. I'm on 2 devices, and it's still letting me do the Hangout, so we'll see how this works.
That's perfect. Thanks for doing that. Figuring it out.
No problem. No, we just need to get Becky and the other gal on here.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I guess you can't set the 2 devices close to each other.
Let's see.
There we go. Becky's here.
Nice.
One more.
Is it what Google learned activity? Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's
pretty much what I've learned from Google. Yep.
Okay.
Just ignore that I'm on there twice. I had to set it up on my computer, and then I'm using my phone.
Okay, that's fine.
You know, I'm locking off.
Okay. Well, wait for Noah to get here.
Whoever figured out how to do this, we need to. I can't hear anybody.
Can you hear me? Testing 1, 2, 3.
With technical difficulties, man, I do the
Oh my
best.
gosh, this is crazy.
I know.
We're like 25 minutes into the meeting and nothing's happened
I
yet.
know. I haven't done anything.
Oof.
Can't hear anybody. Hello?
Can you hear
Can
us
you
now?
hear us, Becky?
How do you?
Oh man, it's probably using the wrong. Can you message on this or?
Um,
Oh man. Ooh.
um, he's not muted.
There's like nothing on here. Where is that?
can you hear us though?
No, she can't.
Man, you guys ever use Zoom? We could use Zoom. That was so much easier to use in the other group projects.
Well, if you want to get a link set up for that, I'm pretty sure we could all go to it. So,
Okay, I'll check
Yeah,
it
we
out.
should do something because we're running out of time. So we should just. I mean, does it have to be recorded? Like, is there a reason?
yeah, it has to be recorded and sent to the professor.
I mean,
Yeah, it's like the whole.
like, is he actually gonna sit there and, I mean, watch like 5 videos from us trying to get the thing set up? Like,
I think he just wants to see that we actually did something, but
Can you hear us now, Becky?
Yep, I just logged off and logged back on again.
oh,
Oh,
okay.
nice.
Can
Sweet.
you hear me?
okay.
Hey, first it's
Yeah.
the chipmunk voice, and then it's not being able to hear us. So I don't know what it is.
I know. Trust me. And Noah or Noe. Oh, I forgot to ask her how to say her name. She's not logged in yet.
Yeah,
I'm worried.
we might just have to start without her. We're so late already.
Yeah, probably should.
But
If she comes, we can just do catch up or whatever.
yeah,
Yep.
She's trying to. I know she's
And I'll
trying
make a
to.
note when I submit the video that we had quite a bit of technical difficulties. And if he watches the video, he'll be seeing this anyways.
yeah.
Are we recording right now?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna go back just real quick to email and just try to text her or email her and just tell her what's going on.
All good.
I sent another one just to bump it.
Okay.
Maybe we should see the email.
That's right. Okay. Well, we can't do anything else.
Yeah, she can join when we get going. Does anyone want to start with the prayer? Anyone want to say it?
I'll say it since you said it for me. I appreciate that. Dear Father in heaven, we're grateful to be gathered today. We're grateful for the opportunity that we have to learn and to grow and to increase in knowledge and understanding. We pray that as we discuss this case study, that we will be able to contribute effectively and be able to have a greater understanding of the things that we can do to increase our understanding in how we can be better in our businesses and in our relationships with others, both at work and at home and at church and school. We're thankful for the opportunity to be in this group, and we pray a blessing to be upon each member of our group and pray that Noah will be able to join with us shortly. And we say this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
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 Awesome. Thank you. All right. So we got the case or the article about what Google learned. So you guys just want to jump into it since we're already behind.
Yeah,
just
that's
get
fine.
into the discussion.
Yep,
Okay.
absolutely.
So, the first question that it asks is, from your personal experience, what have been key behaviors in effective teams?
Personally, what I
Transparent.
feel. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Becky.
I know, sorry, we can just all jump in. I think some of the effective management that I've had in the past have been those who have been transparent and very honest with me and straightforward. And it was very obvious and apparent from the beginning that they didn't have an agenda other than just being successful as a group or as a department, and definitely collectively as a company.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
What I was going to say, for me, what's been really effective is management that actually knows they're human and that we all make mistakes, and they don't pin you up against the wall, kind of like what happened with the last case that we talked about, how the guy just blew up on his team for messing something up. But, you know, they sit down with you and they're like, oh, look, you know, you made some mistakes, but let's get through this together.
Yeah, definitely. I think that unity is important, and just trusting each other and respecting each other, and even as like you're with each other longer, I think there becomes that love and respect, and I think that's what the big difference is. I really feel like you genuinely love and care about them. They want to work more effectively together.
She said she needs to install a Google plugin. What?
What was that question?
I don't know. I don't even know what that means.
No, that's fine. I guess if she can join us if she gets that figured out.
It's probably something like Adobe, but the Google version of it.
He's working on
Makes
it.
sense.
He's working on it.
Okay, cool. The next question, it says, what do group norms have to do with effective team building?
You need to be writing these down, or?
Nope, we're just discussing.
Oh, okay.
So again, what do group norms have to do with effective team building?
I think, can I start? Should
Yeah.
I raise my hand?
No, go ahead. Go for it. Just jump right in.
Me and Steven don't sit there and go, I know. Let me tell you what I think. When I read this article, it made me think a lot about, I've been studying a little bit about emotional intelligence. And so the culture of a group, and she talks about it in this article, and that is that if somebody feels emotionally safe, hey, no, we made it. Woohoo! Congratulations!
Yep. Okay, now this looks good. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Go ahead. Continue. Are we on question 1?
Well, question
Actually,
two.
Number 2.
Oh, 2. All right. Sorry, I took so long.
No,
Right,
yeah.
we're make it. That's all that matters. Anyway, the studying I've been doing on emotional intelligence, and then also with this article and this gal, Julia, and the discovery that she made at Google was that listening to each other, making the atmosphere emotionally and psychologically safe, creates an environment where people can be creative and open and expressive of their opinions, and that encourages creativity and growth. So
Yeah. They feel a lot more comfortable to, you know, express their ideas and their thoughts.
Yeah, I definitely think being open with team members is pretty important, because you don't know what people are doing if they're like, you know, not being open.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That and talking, like, it's asking about our group. Obviously, we're still new to the group and we're getting to know each other, but
Right.
I think that it's a place where, you know, we feel like we can discuss and talk about those things, and as we continue to work together, I think that we'll be you know, learn from each other's insights and feel like it's a safe place, like you were talking about, that psychological safety, emotional safety.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which actually is the next question. It says, how does psychological safety in a team increase overall effectiveness? You already touched on that a little bit, Becky.
Right. They work hand in hand together with each other. You know?
Yeah, I think Julia mentioned it in her, she talked about the two different groups that she was in during her MBA program at Yale. How the first group was full of really intelligent, really dynamic people. However, they were extraordinarily competitive. It was extremely stressful. She was always on edge. She was really careful not to make mistakes because somebody would come in and sabotage her if she made a mistake or whatever. So she was fearful. And so feeling safe. And that's a hard thing to do when you're in upper management, executive leadership. I've been a part of that so many times, and you've got a lot of personalities and a lot of egos, and it's tough.
It is tough. Yeah. When do you actually come in and interject?
Yeah.
Like that?
I thought it was interesting too, like how at the end of the article, when I think they were at Google, but how the guy talked about how he was battling cancer, and then it just sparked this whole conversation about someone else was struggling with health problems, and then someone else was dealing with relationship problems, and everyone was able just to talk about it. And one of the people described it as a very like special experience, but obviously like a very serious experience, but just making yourself vulnerable and putting yourself out there. And I thought it was interesting because obviously, like with group projects, we're kind of rushed. We're just trying to get the assignment done and just get through that. But like in a company setting or a business setting, you definitely would want to have that, because that enables you guys to be able to feel, comfortable with expressing ideas. And I think that helps, long term to have more success as a business, taking that time to do it.
Yeah, definitely. I felt the same way too. Comparing us to actually a company.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like in a company, your groups are more necessary, where it's just kind of just like an extra assignment for us. It's not really necessary for anything but the grade.
Necessary, Kristen.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
A company, like you need that group to like accomplish things. So
yeah,
right.
It's a little bit different.
It's kind of like your paycheck.
Yeah.
Your livelihood.
You're gonna be eating,
So it says, what are the roles of communication and empathy in creating that psychological safety? So communication and empathy, what are those roles?
I feel like communication is always a big contributor, because if you're not communicating with one another, nobody's a mind reader as much as we wish we could be at some points with our kids or people we know. We have to be able to communicate, and if people don't think you're empathetic, or if you have a soul, they're not going to really tell you what's going on, because pretty sure we've all had those bosses where it's just like you go and tell them something that happened, and then all of a sudden they're just like, okay, why didn't you get it done still? And then you have those people where you can communicate and they are empathetic. Like last weekend, my daughter passed out and was unconscious for quite some time, and I emailed my professor saying, hey, I can't get this assignment done. I got to take my daughter and figure out what just happened. She's not responsive. And he's like, okay, well, let me know what I can do for you next. And he reopened the assignment, so I was able to complete it, and now I feel completely comfortable with that professor telling him whatever's going on in my life. And I know he'll try and help me versus saying, well, you're out of luck. You should have got it done sooner.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think empathy definitely makes a big difference, because, if someone just goes around and isn't willing to take like things into factor, like if you have something happen, like what happened with your daughter, and you're not gonna really trust them, because they're just like, why didn't you get your stuff done? And it's just like you're not gonna respect them or really want to tell them anything, because they're just gonna be flippant and not care about anything.
Yeah,
I've definitely had that kind of boss before, and it really sucks, because
you don't want to work there. Are you still working there?
Oh. No.
Yeah.
But it was just like something would happen where it's like it couldn't be done and it had nothing to do with me, but of course all he wanted to know is why I didn't do something. It's like, well,
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like your track record should show, like, are you a good student or are you a good employee? Like, yeah, you are. Normally, this doesn't happen all the time. Like, obviously, like, you should definitely get, some empathy, and they should help you out a little bit in those situations.
Yeah.
Cool. The next question: how does sharing personal experience and being vulnerable influence team dynamics?
I'm not really
Well,
sure.
one thing. Go ahead, Christian.
No, I was just gonna say I'm not sure, honestly. So go
Okay.
ahead.
What I was gonna say with that is, when you find out different situations from people, you can find out who is better to turn to for certain situations that turn up to. Is somebody better at handling emotional responses better than somebody else? Or does this person just break down with you when you tell them something emotional? Or if it's a medical emergency, do they faint at the sight of blood, kind of thing? It kind of helps build your team unity, so you know which team member you can count on in certain situations.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I can definitely see that.
That's definitely.
Can I address that one?
Yeah.
So I've worked for lots of large corporations, and being vulnerable is, on one hand,
Yeah, so I was
a
just,
good thing.
Yeah.
I think inherently we know it's the right thing and it's a good thing. However, in most large corporations and even small companies, depending on the culture of the company, it can be fatal for you as a person if you express vulnerability.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that in a way, like if you were to say, I don't understand this project, or I don't understand what the next step is in this project, that's a sense of being work-focused, work-related vulnerability. But if you say, I'm having a really hard time, my son just got put in prison, I can't think straight right now, that kind of vulnerability in a lot of companies is seen as a weakness, and you're dismissed, either from the project, or then you're viewed as somebody who is incapable of handling challenges, and you're not utilized on a team, or you're not pulled in a lot. So this Google experiment is an ideal for sure. In the workplace, though, it's a whole different story. And I'm not sure if you guys have experienced that in the work environment as well. But you have to be really careful who you're vulnerable with. There are also people who will exploit your vulnerability and try to get you to.
Competitive.
Or what?
People are really competitive, and they'll try to use it against you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I've seen that happen in large corporations as well. Well, they'll try to buddy up with you to get you to be vulnerable and to express some very personal experience or feelings on certain situations, completely not work related, and express that you're having a challenge with, your kid going to prison or whatever. And all of a sudden they feel that's an opportunity to exploit you or to use that against you, and they see you as weak, and they see themselves as superior. So we're definitely in a transitional place within the culture of the work environment, in that what we're reading is ideal, and that would be phenomenal to find this. And how maybe you guys can help me understand, how do you as an employee create this business model as an employee, right? None of us are the CEO of a company, and right now we're not going to go start a company. We're definitely students. How do we influence the companies that we're in right now to have this mindset?
Yeah, I think that a lot of that is tough, like with what you said about some of it's just the personality. Some people are very old school, and not to say that that's necessarily bad or wrong, but it just depends on the situation. And I think even in the example that they give from the article, when they all shared those experiences, it was after a long time of them knowing each other, and it's still like it took the right situation, the right circumstances to do that. And I think they got to that point because they worked together in groups, and they were able to consistently see each other and get to know each other more. But sometimes you're right. Like, it just may not be the right setting, and that company and that boss you have, it just may never be that way. So I don't know how you do that.
I think it has to be from the top down, to be honest.
Yeah,
That's a really good point. I think
I can't really
I
see
agree
it
with
be the
you.
other way around, just because, you know, if the company is promoting their employees to be competitive with one another, then a lot of the times that'll just be really hard, because everyone's like fighting for like promotions and raises, and you know,
As an employee level, you wouldn't be able to make any changes.
yeah.
Yeah, because the management or the upper level has already have this mindset.
I mean, I guess you could just rise to the ranks. I guess that's the answer. Just, you know, become the next, you know, boss or whatever. I don't know.
That's true. You're right. It does come from the top down. That's a good point.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess going on, one of the last questions is what can you do as an individual to initiate effective team behavior? Kind of talked about that, but I guess, is there anything else we can do as individuals to kind of just at least create that more team behavior environment?
One thing I always do whenever I go to a new job is I go up to people and it's like, I'm an open book. I'll tell you what I feel. I'll tell you what I think of certain situations, and, you know, I'm not going to hold anything back. And for a lot of people, they don't see that as me being aggressive. They see it as, you know, I'll give you an honest opinion of what I think. I won't try to hide things from you.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think we just have to exemplify what we desire in a safe place, because I think if we're in a work environment that doesn't support that, we can still be known to be the person who's honest, has integrity, is kind, chooses to do the loving thing, doesn't backbite, encourages and supports their team. You know, we can do those kinds of things no matter what the environment is that we're in. We can still be Christ-like no matter what our boss is like. We can still choose to be happy in that environment.
Definitely.
Definitely. I agree with that.
True. That's true. And a lot of that sometimes is just a learning experience, or you're maybe just a trial to help you grow, and sometimes you just have to deal with people. Yeah, that's a good point. You can always control what you do.
Yeah, can't control the other person.
I mean, I feel like even if you are in a bad business environment, as long as you're like, you know, being a good with the group, and you're being empathetic, and you're working well with other people, I don't think it's necessary to exploit people's weaknesses. I think that's ridiculous. Like, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to rise up in the company without that.
Yeah.
As long as you stay true to you, then I think you could probably make a difference, at least the people who you work with, because if you rise up, then the people who are working with you are going to notice that, and kind of follow. So definitely.
Good point.
And you know, we all have the choice, whether or not to be there or not. Yeah, the team doesn't fit for us. Yeah.
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 Definitely. All right. So I guess this last thing is just a summary of what we learned, and what are like the key things we took away from this reading and from our discussion today. If we could summarize it.
I think what we're learning is that I'm just gonna go first and I'm gonna shut up. In the past, in our parents' or grandparents' generation, was a very different model, very different leadership model, very different business model, in that there was somebody at the top and you had a pyramid, right? And the guy at the top was the CEO, then it was upper management and middle management, down to the low level nobodies, right? And that pyramid is statistically being turned upside down, where the customer, and then the associates, the people that do all the work, are now at the top. And more and more companies are starting to learn that they need to invest just as much in their employees as they do in their customer service or in their product or whatever it is that they do. And that pyramid is now turning around, but it's taking time. Obviously, we've all had leadership that is still in that mindset of I'm over you, I'm above you. As that pyramid turns upside down and upper management realizes the value and the contributions that the base employees offer, and that connection and that feeling of connection has to be there, that's when a company thrives and grows, and our profit margins increase. I've read lots of stuff on this lately. It's been really impressive to find out how when upper management connects with employees, how everything is better all around. I think that's what this article talks about, is this psychological safety, emotional connection is vital, because we do spend most of our working day, of our whole day at work. And that's more of our family. Really, I mean, we do see more of our coworkers than we do our own family, unfortunately, but that's life. And that needs to be just as healthy, and we need to be able to feel safe enough to develop those relationships on a work level in a way that we feel connected and able to contribute, and we feel like we have value there in that work environment. So I just see this huge shift over these last generations, how things are changing to where it's a far more win-win situation for both the employee and the employer and everybody in management at all levels.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. You guys ever watch that show, The Prophet, on CNBC?
Oh yeah, I love that show.
Yeah, it's so good. He always talks about that, about how, just like your point, Becky, he says, everyone says the customer's number one. He's like, I say it's one step further. It's the employee's number one, then the customer. Right. And so he takes care of his employees, because it is hard to find good help. Like, I own a pool business, and it's service, it's hard work, and finding good employees is really hard. And I've found it easier just to do the work myself a lot of times, rather than try to invest in employees. And now I've realized I'll never be able to grow if I can't, have help. And I need to, just like you said, Becky, focus on as much on my employees as I do my customer service or gaining customers, because they're the, going to be the reason to help me grow. And so I think it's such an important thing too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely agree in that too. That, you need to take care of your employees, the internal customer, and then they definitely will help your business to thrive. I think this is the survey that she was trying to do, or the research that she was trying to do, on how to make a good team. Yeah. And there's really no definite way. Yeah. That's what I came up with it. Different ways, different people are different.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Right. Cool. You guys have anything else?
No.
I think that was a good discussion. I think we accomplished a lot. So, in spite of the technical difficulties, but thank you, Stephen, for making it happen.
Yeah.
No problem. Do you guys want me to screenshot what I did so you guys know how I set this up to go?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Okay, I can do that.
Yes.
Yeah, and then
is there a certain drops folder for this, or where do we turn this in at?
Is that on the discussion?
I think there's a discussion board, isn't there?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you just post it to the discussion board?
Yeah.
I believe so. But yeah, if you want to
put the link. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I think so. But yeah, if you want to,
it's
got a recording too, then I can help too, so you don't have to do all of it.
Okay.
And yeah.
That'd be great. Before we get off, we need to fill in one.
Next week.
So either Christian or Stephen needs to man up and pick up that spot.
If you need to, I can do it.
On that document,
are you here?
I did sign up, but it wouldn't let me send it for whatever reason.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Bye.
I saw that you had filled out one slot, and I had Stephen filled out one slot, and I need to go pull it up so
I can do next week if you want.
Okay.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Have,
I can sign up. I just don't know when. I might not always be available, so that's why I didn't sign up for too many days.
I'm like doing the 25th and
pull it up.
November 8th. So we need the 18th and the 22nd.
Okay, Steven signed up for one of them. I'm just trying to
Yeah,
find
the first.
email.
Lesson 7.
Sorry, I have a million emails. I'm trying to find the one that had the link for that page.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to
I
find
know what you mean.
Sorry, I got too many classes, too many people
Oh,
talking.
yeah. I don't know how. Yes, I'm kind of. That's why I keep asking the same stupid questions.
Where am I? What?
Yeah.
Oh,
What class am I talking
It
to?
looks like they're all filled up, but for lesson 5. So
5 and. Oh yeah, because we. Okay, the 21st. I'm sorry. Becky's doing that one. Yeah, lesson 5 next week.
Okay, so can somebody find the spreadsheet, fill it out? Who's
I
going to do
have
that?
And then send it in.
And then we need to submit that, and then CC everybody, submit that to the professor, and we'll be good.
who's doing it for lesson 5?
I can go ahead and do it, and then I'll email it to the group again.
Okay.
Is that you, Steven?
Yeah, that's me. Sorry. I'm typing on my computer. I have this on my phone, so I'll go in and out every once in a while.
So, Noelani, how do you say your name? Do you say Noe or Noelani or?
Just Noe is good. That's fine.
Noe. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't call you the wrong thing.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, so I got the schedule up, so I'll go ahead and I will add Steven in on lesson 5 and then send it to the instructor and copy everybody on it.
Awesome.
Well,
Thank you for
I
that.
just sent the updated one to everybody.
Okay.
Oh,
So
that's even better.
that works.
Okay.
As long as we get it in.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Carrie, who's sending it in? Are you sending it in, Steven?
I think everyone has.
I just sent it to the group, so if you want to send it in, I sent the group an updated one, and I'll send in the video.
So when I submitted the video, he just asked to put everybody's name in the subject line.
Okay.
So just put all 5 of our names in the subject line, put the link to our video, and I think that was it.
Okay. Sweet.
That's good.
Wow, we got this done in like a half an hour last time.
Yeah, well,
I'm
I
so
think we had a lot more to say about Mary than we did with this one.
Well, I also had a full page of questions I was supposed to ask you guys, which was, I mean.
Yeah, it was way longer.
It was like
so
more
long.
questions than there was case.
Yeah, that kind of how it felt, yes. So I'm grateful this one was a little more efficient.
Great. Okay.
All right. See you guys. Have a
So
good
we're
week.
good for
Alright,
same
guys.
time next week?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Same
fine.
time,
Okay.
same place.
Just
All right.
making sure.
Yeah, I know. Double checking.
All right. See you guys.
Okay,
All right,
guys.
bye-bye.
Have a good week. Bye.
You too. Bye.